Ah, Mr. McPherson, I was just thinking about you. Good to see you again. Have you brought me any more culprits?
We've been barking up the wrong tree from the start, Inspector. The Whites never were the Whites.
The Whites were not the Whites? McPherson, what are you talking about?
Ruby and Regis are not the real names of the Orphée victims. I have in my possession a ring that clearly indicates the woman's name was Faye.
That does not prove anything, McPherson. What about all the sweet talk, huh? Faye and Ferry. Of course. Why complicate things to my Ferry with love?
A letter. A letter signed Sophia Blake confirms that they were hired to commit a robbery. The letter is addressed to Faye and Jerome Johnson, Inspector.
Thieves? What did they steal then, McPherson? We did not find anything in their room, and moreover, no one has brought up charges. Explain that.
They robbed Grégoire d'Alpin. The plan was orchestrated by the same woman who hired me, Sophia Blake. This is a major con trick, Inspector.
De Alpin? Grégoire de Alpin, the banker? McPherson, I assure you that a man as important as Grégoire de Alpin would have called on the police to solve this case. He has the means, believe me.
D'Alpin. D'Alpin is dead. He's been dead for over a week.
What are you talking about? If anything happens to Mr. d'Alpin, I assure you heads will roll.
D'Alpin looks to have died peacefully of old age. Nothing like the other murders. I have a photo here. See for yourself.
Even if Mr. d'Alpin had died of natural causes, it would not prove Héloïne's innocence, McPherson. Quite the contrary.
If d'Alpin has been dead for over a week, he couldn't have hired Héloïne to investigate. Do you not see, Inspector? Somebody else hired Héloïne.
And I suppose you are going to tell me who this mysterious person is, Mr. McPherson.
If you have any doubts about d'Alpin's involvement, I have something that will convince you, Inspector. A glass vial, taken from his home, identical to the one found broken in the White's room.
McPherson, Grégoire d'Alpin is surely not the only man in the world to own such a vial. It proves nothing.
One gold, one brass. One at d'Alpin's, the other at Kaufner's. 2 ancient coins. These prove that both men were involved in the murders.
Everyone has the right to collect ancient coins. Anyway, what has Dr. Kaufner to do with all this?
Inspector LeBrun, what I have shown you is irrefutable proof of Héloïne's innocence. I found the knife used to cut off the victims' heads.
The murder weapon must be a knife of extreme precision, medical precision, with an incredibly sharp blade. Show me what you have, McPherson.
This is the murder weapon, just as I found it at Grégoire d'Alpin's home.
Thank you, McPherson.
Stop protecting Dalpin. He's the only man in Paris who can obtain these vials, the only one capable of putting this gas inside them, the purple gas he uses to put his victims to sleep.
Leave the vial with me. I will have it examined.
Here you are.
Thank you, McPherson.
It's strange, but it's true. Doubtless Dalpin preferred to sort this business out in the greatest secrecy. Just ask Helouin. He's the one who investigated it.
I would have to check with Monsieur d'Alpin. I can't tell you more, McPherson.
That is too much. Will you never face up to the facts? You know as well as I do that coins like these were found on all the victims.
How do you know about the coins?
A couple of anonymous sources are enough to keep me abreast.
Beauvais will get an earful about this. Leave the coins with me. They are evidence.
With this, you can start investigating the true motive behind the murders.
Thank you, McPherson.
I hope these clues will enable us to prove that Helouin is innocent.
I will speak with Helouin, and we shall see. If I understand correctly, the Whites were not the Whites, but the Eatons, who are in fact the Johnsons. A couple of professional con artists hired to retrieve a relic at the Alpins by Sophia Blake. Also your employer, Mr. McPherson. Yet according to this note, Sophia Blake is currently being held hostage by Mr. d'Alpin. Would it be the same d'Alpin we see dead in these photos? Do you understand anything?
It's just that...
That is to say that you and me are going to have a little chat to set this story straight from the beginning.
LeBrun, aren't you tired of making people believe this story? The evidence is there, on the table.
Sir, I advise you to go back to your paintbrushes and leave the authorities to do their job. Now, if you will excuse us...
May I retrieve my documents?
Consider these documents as facts, Mr. McPherson, and without facts, there is no proof.
Yes, and there's the proof of my innocence, LeBrun.
We shall see about that, Helouin. We shall see. Mr. McPherson, goodbye.
Poor Helouin. I did what I could for him. The only thing I've got left now is my conscience. Me, Blake, and my conscience.